I'm gonna show you 3 different characters, and I want you to guess who you think is the main character. Regardless who you guessed, you would be right, because our protagonist, Kasane, is an aspiring actress with the ability to steal people's faces. But there's a condition she has to meet in order to do so. That condition being a kiss.
My mother was beautiful. She had become the legendary actress she always wanted to be. Still beautiful. She left this world, leaving ugly me behind. When I was in elementary school, there were lots of pretty girls in my class. I'd always look at their faces and think, man, it must be nice being pretty. They must enjoy looking at themselves in the mirror every day.
This is Kasane. And Kasane is being bullied because she is chopped and the daughter of a famous, beautiful actress. They said Fuchi-san, more like Fugly-san. Oh my gosh. And that incredibly witty and clever roast reminded her of a flashback with her mom, where she said she wanted to be an actress. And her mom said, if you're ever alone and things get really hard, take the red lipstick from my drawer, and that's where the memory ends. The next day at school, the mean girl, MG, I'm gonna call her, nominates Kasane to play Cinderella in the upcoming class play. And Kasane, aware of where this decision tree could lead her, stands up and accepts the role. And across the other side of her bravery, her suspicions are confirmed. We see the nefarious intent behind the actions of her peers. But Kasane's optimistic. She's like, even if I did pull off the role of Cinderella, it wouldn't change the way I look. But I'm Fuchi's daughter, the big Fooch. So even if I look horrible, I could just play the role well. And maybe they'll change the way they look at me. Just a little. They might recognize me as the big Fooch. Slap my chest as I said that. It's like I'm trying to be the big Fooch. So she grinds. She put her head down and remembered her lines. I did not intend to rhyme. All right, that one was intentional. I knew what I was doing. Cut. But I hope you know why. And after some time, it's the night before the performance. Kasane is having a dream. Die. It's not the nicest one, but it has a nice ending. Kasane's mom makes a cameo. She's like, remember what I told you about the lipstick? I know I told you. It's easy. You just take what you wanted. And then that's where the dream ends. Kasane wakes up with the lipstick in her hand.
That was grade 5, class 1 with Run Mellows.
Class absolutely loving the shit, by the way. Also, it's a big class. Look, you hear the crowd? They showed up. And so did Kasane's anxiety, as it's now her turn to perform.
Up next is grade 5, class 2, Cinderella.
The show starts, but Kasane doesn't. She's frozen in fear and gets kicked out onto the stage, wearing her mom's lipstick. And everyone notices. Who knows what they were saying? It was unintelligible. But the show starts, and Kasane, a bundle of nerves, collects herself. And she acts. And she acts well. People are messing with it. So you know, MG gotta put a stop to that. She has Kasane pretend to be sick, takes her to the nurse's office, and Kasane's quite upset. Sneer. Such funny onomatopoeia. I actually really like sneer. 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 I'm a horse? Oh my gosh, and MG notices it. She's like, what are you sneering at me for? It's like known terminology. And amidst all these sneers, Kasane's mom appears and fills the gap in Kasane's memory. You put the lipstick on, take the thing you want, and kiss it. Their faces switch. MG freaking out. And Kasane is like already full commitment. She's like, don't yell, I'll stab you. Or maybe, you know, looking at the panel, she says, yeah. Maybe she's saying, yeah. You know what I mean? She could be saying, yeah. She's definitely Gen Alpha. She's like, skibbity, yeah, Riz. She just starts speaking in brain rot. MG that continues to freak out even more so overly, which causes Kasane to like lock in even more. She's like, if you tell anyone about this, I'll never give it back. And I'm the only one who could turn you back. She's just yapping. Oh my gosh, she's literally just doing improv. W actress. She then puts MG in timeout and is like, think about what you've done. As the show goes on, Kasane returns to the stage and things are different.
It'll never go my way, 'cause I'm not that somebody. I should never choose to stay. That shouldn't be my body. The path leading me astray. I walk this road alone. Resonate with what you say. That's something I don't know.
And everyone loves it. And Kasane realizes this is how her mom felt. Her mother's face wasn't hers. Kasane then takes MG up to the rooftop. And Sobes, I feel bad. Notice the use of Sobes? I saw that one in the comments today. I'm just gonna start sprinkling different community names throughout the videos. I'm indecisive, whatever. Yes. Chairs, let us continue. Kasane opens up to MG about what it was like to be her, and then MG feigns an apology as a feint to frisk the blade. And Kasane goes, and Kasane being a real demon, saying, if you cut me now when I give your face back, will your mouth be cut open too? Honestly, she's kind of on timing though, I like it.
Okay.
But MG doesn't. She's scared, she freaks out, and she slips. And she cuts Kasane through her lips.
Easy on the cut.
Funny guy over here. Alright, I'll give it to you. Good one, computer. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, computer, did you just laugh? What the fuck was that? Alright, I'll let you be. As MG's body races toward the ground, Kasane spots her mother's hand, open palmed, as if she pushed MG off. And I think the author is leaving this up to personal interpretation, right? Whether it's she actually fell and Kasane seeing her mom as a sort of sign, or do we see like the mom as like a projection of Kasane's internal consciousness fueled by repressed negativity and the like, and ended up pushing MG herself and is just blocking out the memory? Because Kasane is not the most reliable storyteller. She's like, I don't remember what happened after this. I was horrified by both my face and what I'd done. Now, but she doesn't say what exactly she did. So it could be to push, or it could just be, you know, the face swap in general. My take is she actually did it. Like, there's been a couple moments where Kasane is kind of off. You know what I mean? Not just like, sneer. But like, when she bit the knife, or how quickly she went to stab. Like, where'd she even get that knife from? They didn't even show that. Like, I didn't keep that out. She just, like, had that shit on her. And I'm sure she has an immense amount of anger from being bullied, and her body just moved in the moment. She's also a child, and kids are psychopaths. Like, I mean that genuinely, like, they haven't fully developed their sense of empathy. So, like, I can see it. Kasane sees an embodiment of her mother and hears her mother's voice telling her to become beautiful. That beauty is the end-all be-all, and ugliness is everything but. It's the cause to all her problems, and even why she's never met her father. Because ugly is dirty. Ugly is foolish. Ugly is useless. Ugly is unnecessary. And ugly will always be unloved. And if you want to be loved, join the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. There's a ton of love there. It's really pretty. It's just a great place to be. And you'd be supporting me. Yeah, that'd be the dream. Speaking of dreams, this last little monologue was a dream, which Kasane woke up from. Rise and shine, everyone. And she's like, last night wasn't a dream. She's referring to the stuff before it. She wouldn't just immediately contradict what I just said in an attempt to undercut my profound, poetic, personal Patreon plug. Now, she wouldn't do that. But what she would do, no matter how grim or punishing the road may be, with no other choice but to trust in the path her mom left and walk in her footsteps, abandoning her ugly self and becoming someone beautiful. Time skip. It's a new day, new school, but Kasane still has the same problem. She's ugly and quite literally everyone hates her, it seems like. What the heck? Oh, look, someone said fugly. Someone else made that pun. Okay, cool. That's cool. Great minds and whatnot. And Kasane's cautioning, if you will, about using the lipstick. You know, she ponders the potential consequences that could have arrived had things gone differently. And she's aware of that. But Kasane has someone she wants to be. Iku Igarashi, captain of the acting club, and 1 year older than her. I'm gonna call her Iku for a half-baked pun I kind of have in mind for later, and a quarter-baked pun I have in mind for right now. Iku, more like Itu, because she's kind of like the it girl. Whatever. And as Kasane reminisces about her first impression of her, we learn the acting club is 1 week away from a performance. After practice, Kasane stays to do some lines, and Iku, after learning about this, wants to check on her to confirm some rumors about her being bullied. She ends up overhearing Kasane killing her lines, and she's impressed. She wants to hear more, but Kasane is all flustered and makes a mad dash for the exit. Iku catches her and cuts off Kasane's instinctual apology, pours out praise her away, and encourages her to act. But Kasane, on her black pill arc, disparages her positivity and flees the scene like a wild Pokemon. A few days pass and Kasane hasn't spawned in for practice. And as Iku's surrounded by a shower of shade, she assuredly decides to take action and approaches Kasane asking to walk home. Together. Who remembers? Who remembers? Outside of campus, the two papas squat and converse. Iku charms Kasane, and the two cohorts relate on being relentlessly bullied. after Iku admits that she too was in a similar situation to where Kasane finds herself in now. And as compassion is interrupted by disbelief, doubt is quieted by companionship. Iku proposes that the two birds of a feather flock together. If they do everything in tandem, Kasane will be left alone. Her only condition, club attendance. From that day forward, everything was swell. Kasane wasn't alone, the bullying stopped, things were on the up and up. But after practice, Kasane got pulled aside for a chat. The other thespians aren't messing with the new do. They see their camaraderie as parasitic in nature. Kasane reveals that it was Iku's idea, and they reveal that Iku was actually bullied out of jealousy. She was too perfect, and go on to say that they're not alike. If anything, she's not like her. She's like the bullies, and she is not like us. And so they ask her not to pull up to the play, and she is sad. And showtime is now upon us. And shortly before the backstage makes their way on stage, Kasane arrives tardy. She fakes a fever as a ploy to excuse her lack of participation. She then asks to speak to Iku alone and to divulge her past experience with bullying. As she recounts, Kasane's filled with anger, with rage, with jealousy, with resentment, because she sympathizes with the bulliers, not the bullies. And as she swallows a pill darker than black, she presumably gives a bunch of sleeping pills to Iku via disguised drink, desecrating the institution that is the Bev. She makes the switch with Iku, or should I say, Icarus, because she flew too close to the sun. That was the pun. Alright, I'm done. With Kasane's new face in tow, it goes basically exactly how you think it'd go.
It can never stay away. Always the home body. Whoa, this wasn't the case. You'd rather be anybody else. Anybody else. Anybody else.
She's 2 for 2. Everyone loves it. Again. She's elated. She's on cloud 9. But the sky is falling when she thinks about returning to the world she once knew. She wants to stay in that heaven forever. Wait, heaven? Like blue heaven? Huh? As in blue heaven, what? The manga I covered in the previous video that you should definitely watch after this? I tooted my horn a little bit, but all's not well, ends well for Kasane, because let's be real, her life is not going well. But for this, it worked out. She was able to switch back with a second kiss. Iku was none the wiser. Kasane then cut ties with her, and all in all, it was a series of lessons. Learned about how the lipstick works a little more, gained some practical XP, felt confidence for the first time, and in Kasane's words, she learned her place. Time skip! It is now the 12th anniversary of Mama Fuchi's death. There's a family get-together to mourn her passing, but the only family we're introduced to is Kasane's two-faced, two-bit aunt who sucks fat chunks of lard and is a giant pool of weak sauce. I don't know. Kasane then retreats to her mother's old room, and as she's thinking to herself, questioning when her mom became the big Fooch, an unknown visitor appears. He tells Kasane that she's currently repeating history, that her mom was once in her shoes, standing at the precipice, the edge of tomorrow, a canon event waiting to happen. And Kasane has reached that very same turning point. He introduces himself, Kingo Habata, the director, then proceeds to explain, saying, Fuchi asked a favor of me. She wanted me to give her ugly daughter the role of a beautiful woman, and of course, using the lipstick. He tells her that Fuchi acted for him, and he helped protect her secret, allowing her to live a life stealing other people's faces and lives. He says he'll give her a role, introduce her to a woman that will lend her face. And after letting her know that he knows about the previous performance, he then reads her to filth and hands her a ticket to a professional performance where she'll find a woman who needs her and the power of the lipstick. Kasane attends the show and is mesmerized at the production. She then notices an actress who stands out from the rest for her beauty and her mid-acting. After the show, she bumps into her, trips, and then scurries like a critter. And the actress is like smug. She's like content with herself for how that interaction played out. And Kasane is upset because she feels like it's justified. And Loki drops a gem. She says, my ugliness isn't skin deep. It's eaten right through the surface and comes out even on how I act. Kingo then yoinks her into the backstage. They end up talking, and the main quotable comes from Kingo this time. Theater is all about making the fabricated seem real. The audience comes because they want to be deluded. We polish up the actors' lies until they ring true and make this fake world look real. That's what directing is all about. It's funny. Sometimes what's false surpasses the real. The conversation closes with the auditorium door opening. We're introduced to the actress from earlier, Nina Tanzawa, and the two hit it off as well, or rather unwell, as you would expect. Nina agrees to keep Kasane's secret and explains that she's operating under a 2-year deadline set by her parents, that if she doesn't make it out, she's gotta hang it up. She then has Kasane read some lines, but Kasane is having trouble reading for the lead because of her crippling insecurity. Nina's fed up at the sight and rips off her mask, which is like an insecurity multiplier for Kasane. Nina sees this and pities her, which sends her over the edge. And you know, we've seen this story before. We've seen this play before. Kasane then crushes it, and Kingo's looking at her like the LeBron of acting, thinking she might just become the real thing. Some time's passed since then. After Nina agreed, the duo became a trio, and the trio had a training arc for Kasane, which leads into this little beach episode. Classic. They're here for seagulls. Specifically, Chekhov's The Seagull. Next month, there's an audition for the role of Nina, directed by Reita, what is that, Ugu? Ugu? I'm gonna put his initials together and call him Ru for short. But yeah, meeting Ru is what led Nina, the person, not the role, to become an actress. She's not really sure if he'd even remember her, but wants to become the type of actress he'd never be able to forget, via Kasane, of course. So a little bit of an asterisk on that. And it turns out this role was also Fuchi's big debut as a lead. So yeah, a lot of coincidences with the double Nina, the mother-daughter overlap with the role. And for my thespians out there, this kind of feels like a Chekhov's gun scenario, which is funny because this play is also Chekhov. I feel like this is all intentional. And while I'm speculating symbolism, Nina's adopted Kasane's signature scowl, and Kingo's egging her on almost as an attempt to keep it that way, keep that toxicity equipped, is what I'd say if he wasn't constantly rage baiting. He's an S-tier instigator. I feel like he's been mean to the two of them in like every piece of dialogue he's had with them. But this one prompts a little bit of a flashback, one that explains why Nina is in need of Kasane in the first place. I'll be quick though. 4 years ago, Nina woke up in a panic. Runs down to mom, what day is it? May 30th. And Nina passed out in April. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Turns out she has a sleep disorder, where instead of getting her beauty sleep, she's sleeping beauty. And instead of oversleeping, she sleeps overly. You get the gist. Now, I'm sure you can imagine the ramifications this would have on someone's life, so I'm not gonna get too much into it, like through the flashback. We don't need her whole life story, but that's the TLDR. So quick rundown. The doctor's like, there's no clear course of treatment, but usually the syndrome flares up during adolescence and fizzles out by adulthood. But for Nina, in the meantime, she's depressed, she can't make friends, etc., etc. You know, she eventually stops going to school, and her parents start taking her traveling and sign her up for various classes, one of them being an acting workshop, which so happens to be run by Ru. But Nina can't really get behind the whole artistic expression, joy of communication, because she knows that once she falls asleep, that's it. She's gonna be forgotten by everyone. She's basically dead. And Ru, to comfort her, is like, oh, it's fine if you're bad at talking to people, you don't have skills or interests, you don't need that. You can just become someone unforgettable. Then takes off her glasses and is like, see, you have a beautiful face. And for actors, beauty's OP. He's like, looking at you, on my soul, you will be viable in the current meta. And for her, that resonated. So she took his advice and from there on, strived to become pro. And like the seagull, she was flying high, on the path to making it out. She was up next. But also like the seagull, she fell to the ground. She passed out and went to sleep for a month, missing her show. And her mom put a deadline on it, that if she didn't get better in 2 years, she would have to give up on acting. And when I first read this, I thought she meant better at acting. Like if she didn't get good, she'd have to stop. Like a clutch or kick scenario. But I think she means better like physically. And Nina's like, I will physically put Nina on stage, no matter what, even if it isn't her. Time for the audition. And Ru isn't having it from anyone. He's sick of the same thing over and over again. He's playing the game on easy mode. To him, theater's starting to feel. But Kasane brings something different. Kasane brings obsession. An obsession with being an idealized version of herself. And Ru notices. He doesn't just see the shift in personality from a shy girl he vaguely remembers. He sees Kasane, and this is the first time she feels seen. And that's scary and confusing. In a panic, she dipped out the server. But scary as it might have been, in her words, it wasn't unpleasant. And it wasn't a failure. She passed the audition. But there's a little conversation between the two of them, the two Ninas, that I want to showcase. Because even though it isn't directly moving the story forward, it ties into something I want to speak on later. So I'm going to bring it up now. Okay, so Nina's like, you learn how to do makeup. You drop some weight around the waist. You corrected your posture and the way you walk. But you can't make it look like you worked for it. You have to walk around saying, this is effortless, even if your clothes are strangling you and the heels make your feet scream. And she's like, so being pretty is pretty tough, isn't it? And Kasane is like, tough? It's fun to see the effort I put into my appearance being rewarded so quickly. Calling something this blessed tough is a luxury. And Nina's like, yeah, you're right. If you still have this ugly face on, you'd never experience this joy in your life. And there's two things I want to talk about from this scene. One is we have followed kasane for the majority, if not the entirety of her life. And we have never seen this girl take any steps towards self-improvement. We've seen her put no type of fit on, no skincare, no push-ups. Shit, we haven't even seen her brush her hair. And like, just thinking out loud here, if her appearance is like that much of a detriment to her like well-being and mental health and like just her overall existence, honestly, then girl, get some work done. Nose job, Botox, like see a cosmetic surgeon, get a fucking BBL, I don't know. Point is, no one is that fucking ugly. No one is too ugly to try. Yeah, anyways, the acting shit's going well. So well that Nina decided to pull up as Kasane/Nina's assistant. She sees firsthand how much Kasane is thriving with her face, quite literally watching herself live out her dream, and she feels threatened. Sneer. It's back! You love to see it, you love to read it, you love to hear it, yeah. She ends up sprinting out of the section, and with her face out of the room, Kasane sees everyone's reactions to her, and she too toodles. Alone, Kasane rewatches the VOD in her mind palace and notes that Rue didn't laugh and begins to develop feelings for him. Next day, Kasane is having trouble with the kiss scene, and when Rue asks her about it, Kasane admits that she's never kissed a man before. And surprised by this, Rue's like, wow, you're so different.
I am.
You're so not like other girls.
He's right.
And so Kasane has a request that Rue be her first kiss, you know, to help her with the scene. Wink, wink. And they do. Right in front of Nina's eyes. Or maybe they'd be Kasane's, however that works, you know what I mean. And seeing her kiss the man of her dreams, she had an epiphany, a realization. They kissed, but nothing happened, which means the power comes from the lipstick. And then Nina thinks to herself that she'll make Kasane understand that she's nothing but an Some time's passed. Nina's been playing nice with Kasane while secretly plotting, and Kasane's relationship with Rue deepened as rehearsals reached the final stage 2 weeks before the performance. Kasane then makes plans with Rue to meet up for the first time outside of practice. After the rehearsal, Kasane meets up with Nina so she can reset the timer on her transformation. First kiss in their back, Kasane leans in for the second. Her chain gets snatched. The two have a bit of a scuffle for the lipstick, but Nina hits the QuickTime event and walks away with it in her hands. On her way to meet up with Rue, she realizes she didn't care if the audience remembered her, she just wanted Rue to remember her. And since the lipstick only switches their faces, she wants to have him remember her body. So Kasane wouldn't be able to sleep with him in the event that she has an episode down the line. And that's what she ends up doing. Rough night for Kasane. She spends the night waiting at Nina's doorstep, which I don't know why she did when she could have gone. She already was introduced as the assistant. She could have just pretended there was an emergency or something and pulled Nina away. Like, she could have cock-blocked, is what I'm saying. But yeah, the two go inside and Nina's like, I'm not giving back the lipstick. I might even throw it away. I might even give it to the trash can. And Kasane's like, really? The only trash is your acting. Without me, what would you do? What could you do? And Nina's like, I don't care. I don't care. I already got what I wanted. And what I did was Rue. And Kasane with tears streaming down her face is like, I've had enough. And Nina's like, word, indeed, gangy. And Kasane with hands on the doorknob gets instigated by her mom. She's like, you're really gonna leave like this? Like a Among Us reference? Couldn't be me. I would never. Just me personally. I'm not going out like that. You know, because I'm the real thing. And she isn't the one who decides whether or not you're the real thing. It's the people that do. You just have to make sure all eyes around you see the real thing, because what can be seen is everything. Nina wakes up in a different month. A sea of questions flood her mind as Kingo enters the room. He's been taking care of her through the day, while Kasane through the night. He then puts on a recording of the performance for Nina. And as I read to you how the play goes, see if you can spot any parallels. Chekhov's The Seagull is a story of a chain of unrequited loves. The main character, Treplev, is in love with Nina. However, Nina is attracted to another man, and that man loves another. And like this, every single character seeks love or fame. None of them can get what they desire. It's a tragic comedy, written with love for the characters, and the character in the center of all this sadness is Nina. Nina, a simple country girl, leaves her hometown for the love of the novelist Trigorin, with the dream of becoming an actress. But in the end, she fails at everything. And on a stormy night, she comes to Treplev in secret. While all the others live on, having given up on their dreams, Nina alone.
Now, I'm a real actress. I act with joy, with exaltation. I'm intoxicated by it.
And feel that I am superb.
Acts as though mad, but she still speaks hopefully before she leaves.
I believe it's in hopes not suffer so much. And when I think of my calling,
I do not fear life.
Just as a seagull flies away, she leaves once more into the storm.
I've always loved Nina's part, and I've read it many times. She says all that optimistic stuff, as if she's trying to make herself believe it. It's tragic, but even at rock bottom, even when she's confused, she's still strong. Nina is me.
she was me!
but the fake became real. And Kingo's like, isn't that what you wanted? As long as you have kasane, the world won't forget you. In fact, if she were to go away, what would you lose? Speak of the devil, and she will appear. Thank you for watching. Alright, subs, let's talk for a second. Something I noticed is that whoever had the quote-unquote like ugly face acted ugly. It's like they projected their internalized negativity, so the inside matches out. Like, Kasane's life could have been so different potentially, but she was put into a negative feedback loop early on during a really foundational period in her life, and has since then only fanned that flame, and through intentionally harboring her self-loathing, she nurtured her hatred, validated her insecurities, and justified what should be unjustifiable treatment. Reminds me of something I heard Joey Badass say before, and I'd like to pass it along.
Everything happens for a reason, the good and bad, and you just gotta accept it. And most importantly, where you are now is just a reflection of your past thoughts, your past thinking. So if you want to change your future, you gotta change your thoughts now, and then put them into action ultimately.
Though cartoonish extremes of rejection, the series does depict very real feelings of inadequacy, being perpetuated via societal norms. It's a good cautionary tale, because outside looking in, we could see the obvious pitfall she's walking into and not think twice, but we may be treating ourselves in a similar vein, unknowingly. And I hope this story can give you an opportunity to reflect on and reevaluate your relationships with yourself, so you don't inflict a similar unkindness onto you, and we don't hurt ourselves in that tragic capacity. That'd be a very sad what if. So be kind. Be kind to you. I want to remind you that it's everyone's first time being human, including you. So carry the same grace inward that you'd bestow upon another. You were loved, and you deserve to be, especially by you. Okay. Love you, and now on to the parasocial powwow. We're here, and if you're wondering what is this audio that's hitting your ears ever so softly, I made a song for this manga recap. I've been trying to experiment with how I can incorporate audio and music into these videos. So I made an entire song for this manga recap, like 2.5 minutes. It's got a pre-chorus, a hook, a verse, a bridge. It's got a bunch of shit. It's a whole song. Prod Soba in the heckin' building, which now, I don't know how exactly I'm going to incorporate this song, because it's like an actual song. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but I think I did a pretty good job. I had recorded that first part before finishing the actual video, and low-key, I feel like I did something here. Thanks, Mark Phillips. What am I doing? No, but yeah, if you have any creative suggestions, anything you think would be cool to see in the video, let me know. I'm all ears. I'm all eyes. Drop a comment, and I'll see if I can implement it into the next one. Yeah, just any feedback would be sick, because I'm continuously experimenting, and hit me with what you liked, what you didn't like, what you loved. And just thinking out loud here, I kind of want to make like a magnum opus, you know what I mean? Like a video that like transcends the niche I'm in, almost. Like where you don't have to be into manga to fuck with it. Just something that like literally anyone can enjoy. And you know what, maybe even be a gateway into manga or anime, like One Piece was for me, and like Dragon Ball or Naruto or Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan were for someone else, you know? Like, I love anime, and I've never been able to draw. I can't really make manga, but in a way, I see these videos as like me giving a manga the adaptation that it might have never gotten. This is my anime. This is my one-of-one thing that's special to me. It's unique to me and to you. And thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you, Sobes. That's right, Sobes. I think I'm calling it, I think that's gonna be the community name. Sobes like lobes. I think it's poetic like earlobes, you know what I mean? Like, cause I'm doing so much with the music and the sound and whatnot, you know what I mean? So it's like with your ears, for your ears only. Yeah, I don't know, but I feel it. The way it rolled off my tongue so naturally, like I didn't even think twice about it. It's like, okay, this is probably the one. And this is probably the 4th all-nighter I've had in a row for this video, like at the time of this recording. And bruh, I was so sleepy that I just started rapping. Like I freestyled, like half awake, incoherent, just pure nonsense for like 40 minutes straight. And as it just so happens, I recorded it. So at 5K, no, fuck it, this shit is so embarrassing. 10K, I will release the files. Also for the Berserk bunch, the Berserk fans, that I am, I think like around 130 chapters in. You know, I've officially reread past all of what I know and just finished my first brand new arc, the Lost Children arc, and it was great. I love it. But as I was reading, I had so many thoughts, emotions, opinions that I wanted to share, conversations that I wanted to have. So much so that I'm considering live streaming manga, reading some beloved classics for the first time, and sharing my experience with you. Yes, you, because I mean, we've just spent this last half hour together, and we have some synergy, let's be honest. So if I'm live on this channel or the Twitch, you know, come through. Also, got some omakase, or rather some oma. Okay. Bye.
It'll never go my way, 'cause I'm not that somebody. I should never choose to stay. That shouldn't be my body. The path leading me astray. I'll walk this road alone. Resonate with what you say. That's something I don't know. It can never stay